What's up, everybody? This is the Gridiron Gilly Show. I'm the host, Gridiron Gilly. This morning, I have Coach Lee Munn with Southlake Carroll Dragons. Coach, how you doing, man?
Doing well, doing well. Appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely. So usually, whenever I start this, like I was just telling you just a while ago, I usually interview coaches in East Texas. When I started this journey, it was to shine a light on East Texas football.
Yep.
So I wanted to interview East Texas coaches. However, it got to a point in last football season where nobody wanted to do interviews anymore whenever district rolled around for most. So I just put a pause on it and said I'd pick back up once the season ended. And then I had people reach out and say, hey, interview this guy, interview this guy. So I've just been sending everybody emails. Anybody that will have me, I'll be glad to interview, Coach.
Awesome.
And you actually do have roots in East Texas. Would you consider Northeast Texas?
Yeah. We're Northeast Texas, Omaha, Texas. So I went to high school at Paul Pewitt, little 2A school.
Yes, sir. Now you're what, 6A?
6A. Yep.
Okay. So just tell a little bit about yourself, where you grew up, where you played ball at. I know you just said Paul Pewitt. Just talk about that and then your journey as a coach and where you've traveled and so on and so forth.
Yeah. So I grew up in Omaha. Paul Pewitt is the name of the school. And, growing up in a small school, I played everything. So I was actually a five-sport. I played five sports. So I played football, basketball, baseball, track, and then I was even on the golf team at Pewitt, which was really just an excuse to get out of school. But when I got done playing high school, I got recruited to go play at Mary Hardin Baylor, which is Division III school in Belton, which is when they recruited me, I had never heard of them. Honestly, I didn't even know where Belton, Texas was. But I went there on a visit, loved it, ended up deciding to go there. So I played 4 years there at Mary Hardin Baylor, played safety for them. And then when I got done, I kind of always knew going into college, I always kind of knew I wanted to be a coach. And when I got done playing for them, I got the opportunity to be a graduate assistant. And so I was a graduate assistant there for 3 seasons, 3 football seasons. I coached defensive ends, and then I was also the strength and conditioning coach for them. And when I got done, I graduated in December with my master's. I really wasn't sure what I wanted to go, what direction I wanted to go. Kind of thought I might wanted to do the college route. Also thought maybe I might wanted to do strength and conditioning route. But then a coach named Tony Salazar, who actually recruited me to go play at Mary Hardin Baylor, called me and said, hey, I got a great opportunity for you. It'll be coaching linebackers with me at a place called Marble Falls, Texas, which, again, I had never heard of it. Growing up in Northeast Texas, there's a lot of towns in Central Texas and out west you just didn't really know about. Mm-hmm. But the head coach there at the time was a guy named Todd Dodge. And so he convinced me that it was going to be a good opportunity for me. So I went to Marble Falls, coached linebackers. I was there literally 1 year, like almost a calendar year. And Coach Dodge got the head coaching job at Westlake. And so then I followed him at Westlake. I coached linebackers there. And then by the time I was done there, so I coached at Westlake for 4 years. I was the special teams coordinator. And then I was the full-time strength and conditioning coach at Boston Westlake for all sports. Wasn't really looking to make a move, but Riley Dodge called me and said, hey, do you want to come interview to possibly be my defensive coordinator if I get the Southlake Carroll job? So I came up, interviewed. Turns out he ended up getting the job. So he brought me on. I was defensive coordinator, assistant head coach. And I've been that here for 8 years. So that's kind of my journey. It's pretty unique when you look back. All of my high school career, I've only coached under a Dodge. So for 13 years, I've been with the elder and then with the son. So it's pretty unique.
Yes, sir. Unless you live under a rock, everybody knows Southlake Carroll or Westlake. Everybody knows who Todd Dodge and Riley Dodge are. Unless you live under a rock, I know exactly who they are. I spoke with Coach Todd Dodge. He's at Lovejoy now, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I talked with him, and we were going to go work something out for an interview sometime, but we haven't done one yet. But we spoke on it. Yeah, I followed Southlake, man. Like I said, unless you live in a rock, you know who they are. I followed them a very long time. I'm 29 years old. Just turned 29 on Friday, and I remember when I was a kid watching Southlake and hearing about them back when Chase Daniel was quarterback there, many, many, many years ago. Back
Yep.
when Todd Dodge was at Southlake. So first of all, this will be your first year. This coming up football season will be your first year as the head coach. So congratulations on that.
Appreciate
That is
it.
a huge accomplishment and achievement. Congratulations. Let's see what we want to talk about. All these questions, man, that I have are questions people have asked me to ask. I'm not going to ask anything like crazy or personal or anything like that.
Sure.
But let's just jump right in. And you're at a national perennial powerhouse. Southlake Carroll is. You've been the defensive man there for a while, you said. Do you feel any pressure at all taking over that program, taking the reins of that program?
No, not any. I really don't feel any outside pressure. If anything, it's probably just pressure that internally that we kind of put on ourselves here, because we understand what the expectation is and what the standard is here. And so, I think you want to be in a place that has a competitive environment like that. And pressure is not necessarily a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're at a place where the expectations aren't as high, or um, the standard isn't set as high, it might actually create an opposite effect of where you kind of feel like you can relax a little bit. Whereas here, it's you understand what the expectation is, and so it actually cranks up your day to day, where you gotta bring it every day, and that's what I love about our kids is they kind of thrive in that environment of that competitiveness, and yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say there's any more pressure from the outside that we put than what we put on ourselves on a day to day. So that's kind of one of the things that drew me to this place was, the high expectations that they have, and that's where I want to be. I want to live in a world where you're expected to win every game.
Absolutely. Where the expectation is to win every game.
Yep. Yep.
Tell me a little bit about the Dragon Maker thing, protecting the tradition. I see that everywhere. The
Yep.
standard is the standard. Tell me a little bit about that if you don't mind.
Yeah, so it's pretty unique here. Just the process that the kids go through, I would say, is the thing that kind of separates us. Really, starting from an early age. I think what if you're coaching here, you have to understand your athletic program or your football program is not 9 through 12. It is literally first grade through 12th grade. It's very similar to a small town. I know we're 6A school, but it's very similar to a small town like where I grew up, where you're at right now, is from the time you're a kindergartner to the time you graduate, you're a dragon. So all the elementary schools are dragons, all the middle schools are dragons, and we have a dragon youth football program where all the teams are dragons. Like, so starting them at that early age, and us, as high school coaches, getting to know them, I think that's one big thing. Just kind of as an overarching thing that separates us is like all of our kids grow up being dragons, and like that's what they want to be when they get older. But I also think our kids or expect a certain uh, progression, or they expect to do certain things once they get into the high school program. So like Dragon Maker is one of the things that you talked about, which is just our boot camp. I mean, it's a lot of schools do it right nowadays, but it's kind of our introduction before we get into the off season, and it's something that has been going on here for 30 plus years. I mean, when the older Coach Dodge was here, is something that he kind of introduced. So the kids know it's coming. They know what the expectation is, and they know if we want to get started really on the journey for the next year, they got to go through that. They got to kind of get through that. So that's one big thing that they expect. I think there's other things that are just kind of expected around here. Every year we'll have a lock-in meeting right before the season where it's literally the whole varsity roster and me and nobody else, where they can kind of talk about whatever they want to talk about, and we can kind of clear the air before we start the season. And everybody kind of lays out what their expectations are. That's something that's been here forever. Summertime running 50-40s on the last day of summer. So just things like that where I think it's, the kids grow up seeing the older guys or the guys in front of them doing those things. And so they already know what to expect. And it's just really cool to see those traditions played out and just continued on year after year. And the kids understand what the expectation is. That's what makes it so special and so unique.
This is a question someone asked me to ask you because you were a defensive coach. What's the culture like? What's the expectations for the culture? And what is your defensive philosophy, I guess?
Yeah. No, the culture, I mean, we're not going to change. We're not going to change what we've been doing. I think the philosophy for us is always going to be, we're going to try to be multiple. We're going to try to be multiple with our fronts. We're going to try to be, multiple with our coverages. We have really, really smart and intelligent kids, and we're going to try to use that to our advantage. But within that, we're going to try to keep things simple. To the offense, we may look overly complex or complicated, but to our kids, we're going to try to keep things as simple as possible. We're going to always try to be physical, right? We got to try to win the line of scrimmage. And then for us, it's about playing plays, playing certain plays. And, we talk to our kids about, we have a certain standard of football on the defensive side of the ball. And really, when you look at any game, you can break it down into three major categories. And we're going to try to do these three things every day or every game, right? We're going to stop the run. We're going to try to create three or more takeaways every game. And then we're going to try to stop explosives. So 3 or less big plays in a game. And that's we ingrain that in our kids' heads at the middle school level. Like, hey, this is our standard. We're stopping the run. We're going to create takeaways. And we're gonna stop explosives from happening. And what we found just over the years is that's a really good formula for winning football games on the defensive side of football. So that stuff is just something that we've been doing for a really long time, and that's not really going to change on the defensive side of the ball.
What year did you graduate high school?
So I graduated in 2006 from
Paul Pewitt.
Paul Pewitt, yeah.
Was that like the team that went to state or whatever?
Yep. So my senior year, we went 15-1. Yep, we were the team that lost to Salina in the state championship. Yep.
So you played for a successful 2A program, went to college, played ball there, and then you coached Marble Falls, you said, a year.
Marble
went
Falls
to Westlake, which was a powerful 6A program.
Yep.
And then now Southlake. So you've been around successful football and seen a thing or two and know a thing or two. So what's different about Southlake Carroll than other programs at the 5A, 6A level?
Yeah. I would say, honestly, the biggest difference is probably it's twofold, I think. I think, number one, the kids that are here are completely bought in. They're all in on doing the work that it takes to be successful and win football games. I think it goes unnoticed at times. A lot of people think that, it is what it is. The outside perception of this place is that we have a lot of super talented kids, and we do. We have some talent, but the perception sometimes is that our kids get handed a lot of things at times, and it's actually the exact opposite. What I've found that sets this place apart, and Westlake was very, very similar to this place as well, is how dedicated and how much effort that the kids put into this program. So that would be one piece, one aspect of it. The other side is the community and the parent support here is unmatched. What the parents do for our program to allow us to have nice things and getting our kids, extra training or outside training from the time they're, elementary kids is another piece that really sets us apart as well. So it's really twofold. Like if I had to say, it would be one, our kids and how hard they work, and then two, it's the support that we have behind us from the parents in the community.
Yes, sir. I love it up there. I wish I lived there. I wish I lived in Southlake.
Well, good luck affording a house in Southlake.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
None of our coaches live in Southlake.
My wife and I, we every time we go to a few Rangers games a year.
Yeah.
And every time we go, we always make our way to Southlake. And there's plenty of things to do there. Yesterday, just like you said, good luck affording a house. Yesterday, we just randomly looked at an apartment, and it was I was like, guess how much this apartment is? And she kept guessing and guessing, and I was like, more and more. And it was like $9,000 a month or something.
It was probably a townhome because we don't even have apartments.
Yeah, I would say it was luxurious, whatever it was.
It was probably one of the townhomes they have in Town Square. So
yeah, I'll probably never live there, but I'll always dream of it.
Hey, I won't ever live in the town either. So
you live on the outside.
We live on the outskirts.
Okay, let's see here. I just asked this question a while ago. I got some good answers by that coach. Like I said, you played 2A ball, or was it 2A then? Was it 2A ball that you played?
It was 3A. When I was growing up, it was 3A.
Pewitt?
Yes. Now they're currently 2A.
Yeah.
When I played there, it was 3A.
Okay, so you played 3A ball and coached 6A ball. So you've seen a lot of good athletes. You played a lot of good athletes, and you've coached a lot against a lot of good athletes.
Yeah.
In your opinion, I'm not going to put you on the spot because I know you've coached a lot of great athletes. But who's an athlete that you probably played against, if you can remember, best athlete, and then one you've coached against? And if you have to name several, that's okay too.
Yeah.
Coach probably got to name about 10.
I can just go through the Rolodex of guys that I played. There was a couple of guys in high school that we played against, and I don't even remember their names sometimes. There was a guy that we played my junior year. You'd have to look him up. He was from Troop, but he was so fast. He was a running back at Troop, so it would have been like 2004. We'd have to look him up. I don't remember his name off the top of my head, but he was really, really fast. And then I know the team that we played in the state championship at Salina, they had a ton of guys that went like Division I. I think they had like the running back, quarterback, the tight end, the Greg James kid, or his son was on that team. So there was a lot of talent there. Honestly, in high school, I didn't really even pay attention to names. It was more about numbers. So you might have to look those guys up. But since I've been coaching, there's some pretty talented guys that I've coached against. So coached against Garrett Wilson when he was at Lake Travis. I coached against Antoine Winfield Jr., safety for the Tampa Bay Bucks. Yep. So coached against him when he was at the Woodlands. I'm trying to think. I mean, there's tons of Duncanville kids that we played and DeSoto kids that we played. I would say the best, in my opinion, the two best high school football players that I've seen and seen live and coached against would be Jaquindon Jackson, who was the quarterback at Duncanville in 1819. Ended up playing running back in college. When I went to Texas to play quarterback, transferred to Utah, Arkansas, ended up playing running back. He was unbelievable in high school. And then the running back that's at DeSoto right now, Sarad Baker, who's going to be a senior next year, is the best running back that I've seen. So as far as competing against, those are probably some of the better ones, and I'm sure I'm leaving off a ton of guys. But I've been fortunate to see a lot of good talent be on our side of the ball as well. So was at Westlake when Sam Ellinger was the quarterback. He was really, really good. We had a linebacker there named Levi Jones who ended up playing in the NFL for a little bit. Very, very talented linebacker. And then here at Carroll, we've been very, very fortunate. So Quinn Ewers, obviously quarterback for the Dolphins. R.J. Mickens was a safety my first 2 years here, who's now safety for the Chargers. He was very, very talented. Those are probably the two most talented that have been since I've been here at Carroll. But yeah, I mean, I could sit here and probably think about a ton more if I really thought about it. I'm sure somebody's gonna slip through the cracks.
Absolutely. Like Westlake, um, even Marble Falls, but they've probably had dudes uh, over the years that you were
Yeah,
there a year, so maybe you didn't coach anybody there or play against anybody, but I'm sure they've had some dudes over the years as well.
yeah. We had a really good quarterback my 1 year I was there. His name was Brennan Wooten. He ended up going like Louisiana Monroe or somewhere. Like he was good. He was talented. So been very blessed to see a lot of good talent.
I guess I just got two more questions for you. Any advice that you would give to a young coach, younger coaches coming up, or coaches at smaller classifications, 2A, 3A,
Yep.
advice you would give to them uh, that maybe you wish you would have had whenever you were younger in the game, or just like people who want to be in your shoes, I guess,
Yeah.
advice?
Yeah, I think it would be twofold. If you're a young coach, your first 0 to 5 years, the one thing that I wish I would have done probably differently those first few years is I wish I would have listened a little bit more, and really just been a sponge. I think a lot of times you get caught in trying to prove how much you know, and I think that actually stunts your growth. I think you got to come in with the mindset of like, I don't know as much as I think I know, and I'm going to try to learn as much as I can, um, as early as I can. So that would be my advice to myself if I had to go back and do it again. I think what I've learned over the course of 13 years coaching high school football is just be where your feet are and don't chase the next job. I think I'm very, very fortunate and I'm very, very blessed to be where I'm at, but I've never chased the title or I've never chased my next job. So, when I was at Marble Falls, I was all in Marble Falls until Coach Dot said, "Hey, do you want to go to Westlake?" And then when I was at Westlake, I was all in at Westlake until Coach Riley Dodge called and said, "Hey, do you want to come interview?" So that's what I would say is like, don't worry about timelines. Don't worry about like I got to be here at this certain age or I got to be here by this time, because at the end of the day, God's timing is perfect, and He's going to put you in the right spot in the right situation. You just have to make sure that when the time comes, you're confident and you understand like it's His voice telling you, okay, this is the time to move. He's going to open that door for you. You just got to be ready to take the next step when He does. So that would be my biggest advice is just be where you're at and be all in where you're at and just trust that God's going to take care of you.
Absolutely. And this last question, and this is probably silly to ask because of where you live at, but I ask every coach this. Um, Usually, the coaches I interview 2A, 3A ball coaches, so they're one horse towns.
Right.
But if someone wants to come to Southlake and watch y'all play some football one night,
Oh yeah.
where's a good spot that they should get some food at?
Okay. Well, first of all, we are a one horse town, right? We're one high school, so that's positive. It depends on what they're looking for. So if they want barbecue, Hutchins Barbecue and Trophy Club, it'll be probably 7 minutes from our stadium. It's some of the best barbecue in the area. So I would definitely say if you're looking for barbecue, it's going to be Hutchins. If you want like Mexican food, Onamia's would be the Mexican food spot, for sure. And then there's tons of options down in Town Square. So if you wanted pizza, it'd be like Taverna Rosa, would be one of the better pizza places for sure. But there's tons of options for sure, in our Town Square. But I would say if I had to pick one, I would go Hutchins Barbecue.
Barbecue?
Yep.
Hutchins?
Yep. Hutchins Barbecue.
Okay.
So it's actually outside of Southlake city limits, but it's literally 5 minutes from our stadium. So
Yeah. Every time my wife and I come up there, we go to the town square.
yep.
It's good shopping. Have you heard of Hard Eights Barbecue? Is that close to you?
I've heard of it. No, it's not really. Um,
Okay.
there's a couple of them around here actually.
I
Hard
had a guy.
eights.
I went to the stockyards one night and I had a
Yeah.
sergeant he was a Fort Worth police sergeant. He was telling me about it. He was
Yeah.
like, "You got to go eat here, man. It's the best barbecue in DFW."
There's a lot of good. There's a lot of good up here. Hurtado's is good. It's in Arlington.
I've had hurtados.
The number one place is actually Goldie's, which I think 2 years ago that was the number one place on Texas Monthly. But that's in Arlington too. But yeah, I mean, barbecue places they're good, but man, they're getting expensive. It's crazy how expensive they're getting. So
Every time I come up to DFW, I stay in or I don't stay, but I go to Highland Park and I go to Southlake. That's like my two spots I like. I like going to SMU games up there too.
Yeah.
We usually go to 1 or 2 SMU games a year, and we go to like at least 3 Rangers games.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, that's all I got. We're looking at close to 30 minutes, so that's good.
Okay.
Appreciate your time. I appreciate you letting me do this.
Yeah.
You are, I think every coach I've interviewed has been 2A, 3A, and a couple 4As, but 6A, that's a first. But at least you got some roots in East Texas, like I said.
Right. That's right. So I'll never forget where I came from. I promise you that. So,
well, God bless you, Coach, and I look forward to seeing what you do with the program.
Yeah. If you're in town, just holler at me.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All righty. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.